Sanbonani, Dumelang, and welcome to yet another edition of Inspire Talks brought to you by UKZN InQubate. My name is Tembele Tushang and I'm honored to be your host for today. A special greeting to our live audience and those joining us from home. We really do hope that you enjoy your time with us today and that you engage with our content. We'll also be opening the floor for questions and answers at the end of our discussion, so do pay attention because you never know, you could win yourself some really cool prizes. All right, as mentioned earlier, we have a jam-packed lineup for you today. Joining me in no particular order are Mr. Njabulo Mbata, who is the project officer at the National Youth Development Agency, known as the NYDA. We also have Mr. Sibonelo Mchunu, who is the marketing specialist of the Small Enterprise Development Agency, SEDA. And last but definitely not least, we have Dr. Lindiwe Kunene, who is a member of the Student Entrepreneurship Committee at UKZN and is also a lecturer within the institution. I've said a mouthful, but before we get to that, let's welcome our panelists for the day with a round of applause. Good day, panel, and thank you for joining us. All right, so let's get straight into it. So we're talking all things small businesses, small things entrepreneurship. There's a phrase that goes, small businesses are not small. Is it true? If so, why or why not? Dr. Kunene, let's start with you.
Thank you for that question. And Sanbonani, ngiyathemba namhlanje nizozuza ngolwazi. So that question is very critical because it may be small for an individual, but in reality, when you put all of them together, they make up a sizable part of the economy. Yeah. So which means they are an important and one of the biggest drivers of a country's economy and a country's GDP. So to answer your question, it is small but yet very big in the economy.
Okay, Mama, say anything to add to that?
Oh yes, definitely. Good day everyone, my name is Njabulo, I'm from the NYDA. So yeah, small businesses are not so small. The reason why I'm saying that is because they say small packages, Dynamite comes in small packages. Yes. Yeah. So basically, as a business, obviously you have to start somewhere. So if you start small, that's not where you are intending to be in the next year or 5 years. So yeah, small businesses are not so small.
Okay, Mr. Mkhunu, what do you have to say about that?
Good day to you all. I think I will have to concur with my learned friends. Small businesses are not small, but here's an interesting part. Even the South African government relies solely on small businesses. In 2012, government formed and implemented a policy or a strategy called the National Development Plan 2030, which says under small businesses that in 2030, government must have created at least 11 million jobs. And of those 11 million jobs, 90% of them must come from small businesses. So it means that even government itself cannot and will never ever be able to create jobs. But government, as a facilitator, must create a conducive environment for small businesses to flourish. Therefore, that is why government is relying on small businesses to reach its targets of creating at least 11 million jobs by 2030.
Right, okay, 11 million jobs. So back to you. You say that 11 million jobs by the government need to be created. So as SEDA, what then can you say are some of the products and services that you then help or give to budding entrepreneurs to actually assist them to then create these businesses?
Well, thanks for the question. Well, after that implementation and gazetting of that National Development Plan in 2012, it was then realized that for that to be to happen or to at least take some form of a shape, government need to show that they are serious. So then in 2014, government then introduced a new department called Department of Small Business Development, which will solely and focus on small business development. And under that small business development, there are entities which look at the facilitating and development of small businesses. Under those department, under those entities are SEDA, where I come from, Small Enterprise Development Agency. You also have SIFA, Small Enterprise Financial Agency. So SEDA is a non-financial development agent, which means we support businesses non-financially. Then you have SIFA, who support businesses financially. So business, we know when you have a business, one thing you always want is capital, is money. You always think that for your business to flourish, for your business to be successful, you need money. But practice and reality and research has shown us that that is not always the case. You'll give a person 500,000, you'll apply for a fund, you'll get a 500,000, and then within 6 months or 1 year, that 500,000 will be gone, finished, and your business will still be where it was, or even at a worse stage. Yeah. So that's why you need this non-financial support agency, which will develop you as an entrepreneur and develop your business non-financially. And how do we do that as SEDA? We do that by introducing our trainings, basic business skills trainings that will equip you as a business, because we know that not everyone was born to be a business, but business you learn along the way. So we capitalize on that by ensuring that you are trained, you know how to comply with all the relevant legislation and regulations that govern South Africa and the laws of the country, so that you are not found wanting when your business start to make profit, start to make money. You are not on the wrong side of SARS. We've seen so many businesses dying because they are not compliant with SARS. They do not pay their SARS. So that is where we come in. We train you, we equip you with the non-financial aspect of things of the business, such as trainings, mentorship and coaching, business skills, workshops, and other related non-financial support, such as international workshop, where we take you to international workshop to learn how to do things internationally. How do you export your product, and how do we determine that your products are ready for export internationally and also in African countries.
All right. You mentioned something very important about non-financial aid. So NYDA, coming to you. We know that the NYDA, number one, it's a very big term. NYDA is we know it, we've seen it. Firstly, what is the NYDA? What does it do? And how then does it offer non-financial support? Because we know that financial support is a great thing, right? And as it mentioned, you give a company 500,000, next thing I say. So how then does the NYDA help and also assist with financial and non-financial help, but also what is the NYDA?
All right, thank you very much. So basically, the NYDA is an agency of the government that is there to assist young people with the challenges that we face on a daily basis. So it's unfortunate that in this day and age, we have so much that is going wrong in terms of the challenges that we face as young people, but as the NYDA, we can only do so much. Yeah. So we focus on 3 things. We focus on entrepreneurship, education and skills development, as well as employment. So when it comes to financial assistance that we offer at NYDA, we have what we call a grant program. So a grant program, so basically, I would say SEDA and SIFA, we are sisters and brothers. Okay. So because some of our programs are similar in a way. So with our financial assistance, we get the grant program, which is divided into 3. We call them the 3 thresholds, where as a young person, you can literally come to us without a registered business and just an idea and say, NYDA, I have this idea and I would like you to fund me. And then we'd look at how tangible that idea is, whether or not it's an idea that can be sustainable and in the future create sustainable job opportunities. And if that's the case, you will be funded with an amount of between 1,000 to 10,000. Threshold number 2, you'll be eligible to get between 10,000 to 50,000, but now you have to have a registered business that has been operating for more than 3 months. You need to have a bank account that is linked to your business. And then with that, you will be able to get up to 50,000 in grant funding. Threshold number 3, similar to threshold number 2, where now you need to have been operating for more than 6 months. You need that bank account. You need to employ about 3 people on a permanent basis, because when we fund you, you don't pay us back. But what we normally say is the only way you can pay us back is by creating a sustainable business and creating sustainable job opportunities. So that is financial assistance that you get within the NYDA. Non-financial, we have what we call a voucher program. So a voucher program is basically there to assist you grow your business. For instance, you came to us and said you wanted to plant 1,000 potatoes, but now you want to reach a broader market. So you can come to us, we can create a website for you, we can create banners for you, marketing, business re-engineering, all of those things that will be able to assist you in terms of growing your business. We have what we call mentorship. It's very important to understand that entrepreneurship is not a journey that is meant to be walked alone. Yeah. We are here, there are other people that are willing to assist. And with our mentorship program, we are basically saying that you have this one person that will be there for you 24/7 for a period of 2 years and will be able to assist you and you need, advice. Yeah. Lastly, we have what you call market linkage. So market linkage is basically those 1,000 potatoes that you planted. You're now sitting with them, but you don't have a market to sell to. Because Wonkama programs, they link. So it's very important that we've given you the money. So Masehleli Lamazambani and no one is buying them, it doesn't benefit you and I. Because what we need at the end of the day is for you to create a sustainable business. And for you to do that, you need to sell the product. So that is where market linkage comes in, where we link you to the right market that will buy your product. So that is basically the 9 financial and financial assistance that you get within the agency.
All right, okay. So, as you said something very important about indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. So, when it comes to advising and being able to be a mentor and offer non-financial assistance, we know that UKZN offers a lot when it comes to that. So, Dr. Kunene, what are some of the programs that UKZN actually has? What are some of the success stories that umuntu can say, yes, that was actually assisted by UKZN and actually then created a tangible, sustainable business?
Thank you. Please allow me to slightly go backwards and link what I'm about to say to what the two gentlemen have given us.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's very important and critical for us in this room to understand why it's so important for us to push this agenda of entrepreneurship in higher education. So I am the founding head of student entrepreneurship for all South African universities. And we were called to do this because we realized the issue of unemployment in our country, but we realized that also the type of education you're probably getting at universities is pretty much designed to feed existing corporate structures. And we are all not going to fit in those corporate structures. Yeah. That is the reality that is out there. So because we realize this, a number of us from different universities across the country and different departments were brought in to say, how do we then find a solution? And we said, the reality is that majority of our students who are in universities right now do not have the skill to run their own anything. Partly because you were not born in a family that has that or in a society that has that. So there is no way that it was socialized in you as you were growing. So you need someone who's going to hold your hand and give you those skills. And therefore it was important to start seeing you get into the space of small business development, get into the mindset shift of entrepreneurial thinking. We are not saying that the businesses you're going to open today are going to make you a multimillionaire tomorrow. But what we're saying is the skill that you're going to get from it is going to allow you to fail, because you do fail in business. Accept that. It's going to allow you to fail and learn about your failure and how to turn that around to build more robust business structures. And that is what we have at UKZN. We have created a sort of agency that works and has learned from your CEDAs, from your NYDAs, and likes to work in partnership and in collaboration with all other government agencies or departments and social and any other social organizations. And our real goal is to ensure that we give you the skill through startup programs that we have. We also have ideation, because no idea is a stupid idea. That is the fundamental thing that you need to understand. Izinto eziningi, you were told that, oh, don't be stupid. Why did you think of that? But you know what? I'm saying to you from today on, allow your stupidity, because it's going to, stupidity as viewed by the world, but it's going to allow you to expand your thinking, to expand how you create solutions and get into ideation. So we do have a division for ideation under InQubate in the Enspire program. Then we also have another section, another program of businesses that have already started. And there, what we do is we do training. We have a team of qualified and very experienced academics and public and entrepreneurs who sit in and ensure that businesses that pass different stages have actually reached those stages to pass on. And then we do have a funding scheme as well. But you need to work very hard to get into those different levels because we've got different stage gates that ensure that we do well. And to respond to that last part of your question, we have some very good stories to tell since the program started a couple of years ago. The first one is that we've got one of the best policies in the country of any of the 27 universities that govern student entrepreneurship and any other entrepreneurship activity. And other universities are starting to learn from us. But in that, we have actually seen businesses that have actually grown to what we call second-tier businesses, which are starting to trade, which are starting to run on their own, and which are, have succession plans in place for them to run on their own. And that for us is a good story to tell, and we want to replicate that. That is why we want to always collaborate with the right organizations to ensure that we build such an environment, not just at UKZN, but in all our universities across the country.
Indeed, UKZN is not just based on academics. We do go the extra mile to make sure that people are set up for the future, because the climate of entrepreneurship, the climate of job creation is really, really important in today's day and age. So it becomes important to have institutions trying to go above and beyond just academics. So with that said, again, thank you for joining us. For those who are joining us from home, we do hope that you're learning a bit and you have some questions to ask, because again, at the end, we will have a question and answer section. All right, let's go back to CEDA. We mentioned that there were quite a few programs that we have. So your Empretech, we have the Export Development Program. What are these, and can someone who just is starting and thinking of being in business, can they actually join? What are the requirements, and what are these programs all about?
Well, most of our programs are tailored to suit almost all kind of entrepreneurs. If you are in business, we always make sure that we have programs that will be able to suit you, whether you are young, old, because when you look at your business, when you do a business assessment, we look at the business holistically. So, like Dr. Gunene have mentioned, before I come straight to your question, one of the things driving CEDA is the custodian of small business development, particularly to young people who are here today. Is the issue of unemployment. So unemployment is one critical part which always lead to the focus of small business development, because most of us who are seated here today either have someone as a relative or know someone who have studied, not just studied up until a matric, but who has a qualification but is sitting at home and is unemployed. So we always want to inculcate the culture of businesses beyond theoretical knowledge, beyond qualification and other means of education. So we want to instill the belief that not everything will be achieved through your qualification, but as a means to mitigate against the challenges faced by the country. Entrepreneurship businesses is another form, is another way of making a living, particularly in South Africa. And there is always a help, or there is always something available. Government is always available to assist businesses, particularly young people, because we realize that 34% of graduates are sitting at home not working, and about 61% of young people are not working. So there's always a focus on young people. So young people who are gathered here today must know that even when they are completed their studies and they are not working, they should venture into business, and they are fortunate today to have such a platform that is giving them this information. It's up to them. How are they going to do? What are they going to do with this information going forward? How is it going to assist them? So now, in terms of our of our programs, such as Empretech. Empretech, basically, it's where you train the trainers that are training small businesses, and such as She Trades. She Trades, it's a women-focused program that focuses on women, where we take women to international workshop to workshop them about business, to sell their product to international. We recently had one, I think last year or early this year, where we took some of the young people, especially women, through She Trade program to Netherlands, where they showcased their products, and also inquired more information on how best they can improve their product in terms of packaging, pricing, and marketing. So all of those programs are you can be able to access them through via our website at www.ceda.org.za. But also we welcome walk-ins. For us, you don't, as a government agency, you do not pay a thing. So there will never be a time where you come to CEDA, you pay any amount, or CEDA will pay you anything. So we welcome our walk-ins. We have, I know that as we are all here, we are students, but we come from various parts of the province, including parts of the country. Yeah. So we have branches across the province in KZN. Just to mention a few, we have a branch in Newcastle, Ladysmith, Pietermaritzburg, Opo, Durban, Potchefstroom, and in Richards Bay. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to find the exact addresses of those branches, and you should just walk in there. There's no need to make an appointment. Whether you have a business, you can walk in there to inquire, or you do not have a business. So we have people who just want to inquire on the business idea that they have. They are still at an ideation stage, and they want to inquire how are they going to go about in establishing their business, and they will take you from that ideation stage up until you start your business, you develop your business. We'll always hold you by hand until your business is at a stage where you are satisfied that you are now you can now stand at your own feet. So as an organization and as custodian of small business development, we always look at ways to develop businesses. But in closing, we do not only assist businesses when they come to us. We also look at the challenges, because we always say we are the custodian of small businesses. So whatever challenges faced by small businesses, we need to come to their aid. In 2020, we had COVID. We introduced a program to address the challenges faced by small businesses in COVID through the Business Recovery Program. 2021, we have the July unrest. We introduced another program to look to assist those businesses which were affected by looting. Then in 2022, we had the floods. We rolled out a flood relief scheme where we assisted businesses that were affected by a flood. But what is important about the flood relief scheme was that we did not only look at formal businesses, we also looked at informal businesses such as omama abadayisa emgaqweni ey'teshini ababedayisa izinto ey'fana ne-traditional outfits, traditional herbs, whatever, ama-fruits, ama-veg, all of those things, because we know that they are key in driving our economy. So we are not static in our programs. We always try to mitigate against any challenges that are faced by businesses. Currently, we have a big challenge, electricity. Yeah. And I can tell you now, first-hand information, that we are doing something about it. And come later this year, there will be something for small businesses in trying to address the issue of load shedding.
I love that approach that CEDA has taken, because you are dealing directly with the problems that society is facing. And that's very important, because business is very much a direct thing and it directly impacts people's lives. So props to CEDA for that. There's a buzzword that has been going on today, ideation. So let's take Ukonomuntu, who knows nothing about ideation and all these other buzz terms that are involved in business. What is ideation, and how do you then also assist and facilitate that process? NYDA, let's pass this one to you.
It's a good one. I'd like to believe that, as we are here, all of us, have that element of creativity to say, you look at the gap that needs to be bridged, and you would like to do something about it. But as you've just said, some people will have that idea, but they don't even know where to go. As young people, I think it's very important that we really familiarize ourselves with a bit of research. IsiZulu sithi ihasho ngalisa emfuleni, but ukuphuza ngeliphuza. So as much as we are here as government institutions sharing this information, if the person on the receiving end doesn't want to consume that information, it's kind of pointless to be doing this. So I think it's very important that you be open-minded to some of the information that is shared, and you go back at your own pace and you try to find ways in which you can go about in achieving whatever idea that you have. So what they normally say is just start. And by starting, you need to try and find the answer to your question why, or whatever answer that you have. Try to get an answer there, and you take it from there. But it's very important as young people to do research and know government institutions and what they do and offer. And don't be afraid to go and knock. Like Mr. Mkono said, they are open to walk-ins. I don't know if I'll say unfortunately or fortunately, but at NYDA, you literally no longer have to come to our offices to access any of our products and services. It's all online. However, the door is open if you feel like you are more comfortable talking to Njabulo on a face-to-face basis. But we do have a portal where you can literally get everything that we offer at NYDA. So basically, the aim is to start. Once you get that idea, just start and see where it leads you.
Right, I love that. Just start. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are very scared to start because it's like, ish, will I succeed? Does my idea make sense? And all of those things. Right now, it's important to have something that is critical in today's economy, that is innovation, because a lot of businesses are the same, right? People are doing the same things in the same way, and it becomes redundant, and it doesn't then make you the capital that you need to make in order to succeed. So from a UKZN's perspective, how important is innovation to a business, and why then should an innovative element always exist in each and every business?
Okay, thank you. Again, it's going to link to what they've said. From an academic perspective, as a researcher in entrepreneurship, working with entrepreneurs in South Africa and outside South Africa and the whole of Africa, one of the biggest challenges that we have actually comes from even the language that we're using. We are constantly using entrepreneurship interchangeably with SMMEs, and in reality, they are not the same. An entrepreneurial business can be in a business form of an SMME, which is a legislative form. Okay. And the reason I always strain the need to differentiate is because it teaches us to start thinking or getting people to think entrepreneurially.
Okay.
In Zulu, we normally say, une business. But the reality is, those businesses which are entrepreneurial are mavulandlela. So you must always add the element of creativity when you're speaking about entrepreneurial businesses, because entrepreneurial businesses are in their design meant to solve the gaps we see in our society, and they are meant to become sustainable by constantly changing to fit the environment. And we saw that during COVID, that most of the businesses we have are not innovative, they are copy and paste. So unfortunately, I mean, I was laughing. This is the first time, this is almost 20 years of being here. It's my first time seeing people sitting at the top.
Oh, wow.
So this tells me just how stressed everyone is about their reality as students. And
you can relate to that.
It speaks to
all right, order.
Just how bad and how much in a panic everyone is. And we do have copy and paste businesses, but they are not sustainable. So unfortunately, only 10% of the people in this room are probably going to be my student or my colleague's students, where we start differentiating and teaching you the sustainability of it. So it goes back to what NYDA said, when they said the onus is really on you as well to then go out there and do your research. When someone says to you, it's an idea that's been done before, probably try and find out how does it fill the gap in my society? Is there something that is a gap in this society which I can then monetize by transforming it into a commercial idea?
Yeah.
So luckily I think it's introduction to entrepreneurship students and technology management students would be my students. They would get that for free and to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
But when you do come to Enspire, we do take you through a rigorous experience, training, and we bring in these teachings as well because we think they're important. We can't all have Oshisanyama, Sibo next door neighbor of each other.
Yeah.
You know, we can't all have a saloon, there has to be that differentiator that exists that is filling the gap. And that's where we're seeing a big problem that needs to be fixed.
Okay, sure. I think, again, when it speaks to the problems that entrepreneurs have right now, another thing that people don't really take into account is the fact that the fourth industrial revolution has taken entrepreneurship by storm. For example, you even have law firms that can now access judgments online. Artificial intelligence has really just changed the name of the game. So how would you advise then budding entrepreneurs to fit in and understand the climate that we're in right now so as to suit the business that they're starting? Sida, how would you advise a budding entrepreneur?
Thank you so much for the question. You know, last year I was invited by the city of eThekwini to adjudicate on the awards of some young people who were going to be awarded through their ideation. They had brilliant ideas, innovations. And what struck my mind was that I can't believe that young people as young as 22 years could come up with such brilliant ideas. And when we shortlisted them and called them to expand on their ideation, they then told us that it all started while they were still in university. That's where they started to do their research. So it can all start for everyone who's here. This is where you start. You do not need to first complete your qualification, thereafter start. It's all start where you are. As soon as we have that idea, you can then start. And it doesn't have to be any idea. As Dr. Gunen has mentioned, that we cannot all own Oshisanyama. So kuna sesitubulana ngoba sibange competition. So research we are all fortunate to see access to internet, Wi-Fi. So we should utilize those things to benefit ourselves, because those people, the young people that won these awards last year, eThekwini, they were introducing izinto zama solar panels, not knowing that in few months' time, the government will then start the rollout of solar panels due to load shedding. So now they are at an advantage because, number one, they are young people, they are black, so all of those things put them at an advantage, because when they do procurement, when government look for service provided, they will always look for those kind of things. Young people and being black is always put you at an advantage when government is sourcing out imsebenzi to deliver a service delivery. So it all starts by utilizing technology correctly and wisely, and also using these platforms. And like my colleague Unjabulo have said, we can come here and do this presentation, but when we leave here, we go back to our desk, we carry on with our work. It's up to you, what do you do with that information. In all my presentation where I go, I do presentation, maybe a month I do more than, I get invited in different events and I do presentation, and at the end of the presentation, I always leave my cell phone number for people to inquire, for people to ask any question. But you'll be surprised that out of that event that was attended by more than 200 people, you'll only get one request. So it then tells you that people were there just because maybe they did not have anything to do at the time. Maybe they are not yet there to need, they don't see the need to start their business. But it's always good to just have information, to sit with information, so that when you decide to start, you know where to go and where to start. So we are always encouraging you, especially young people, to utilize technology at your advantage.
All right, so you've spoken about how we're able to have a platform of so many people here, and Abantu actually don't go out there and make use of that. So you have walk-ins as well. You've got a lot of interaction with young entrepreneurs, people who are just starting business. We've spoken a lot about what they need to have. In your years of experience thus far, what are the things that you've noticed that are things that don't serve small entrepreneurs, but they're still hanging on to? So what advice would you give to someone to say, as in, Nancy rubric for what you need in order to succeed, for us to also be able to best assist you with our services? In my day, let's go with you.
I think it goes back to what I said. One of the things that I've noticed with us young people is that, number one, procrastination. We have an issue with that. Number two, and I'll say this boldly, in most cases you find that we want to be spoon-fed. And it's very important that, at Durban Center at NYDA, at the moment we have one business development advisor. And that person is that person who approves your grant application. Look at that one person and look at how many young people are applying for the grant in Durban alone. And you expect that person to know each and every one of you by name. Yet, you have never called to follow up on whether your application is going or is coming along nicely. So one of the things that I've noticed is that as young people, we don't follow up. And when we do follow up when we are agitated. NYDA doesn't work. And another thing that we have is the issue of patience. I think it's very important that we understand the government entities and the fact that we get a number of applications. Yeah. So as a young person, I think it's very important that you understand the concept of patience. On Sunday, I was in an event invited by the Premier. And I bumped into a college friend who was telling me that he's a beneficiary of NYDA. He applied in 2014 at the time. It took about 3 years for him to get the to get his grant. Sure. But when I spoke to him, he was so happy for the fact that NYDA was able to buy him that stage that he now renders to eThekwini. So if it wasn't for his patience, his dedication, and his ability to go back and say, guys, I've been waiting, what's going on? And because some of us lack that, we end up on losing on opportunities because government doesn't work. So it's very important that you meet us halfway. We are really trying as government. So sometimes, and just go out there and say, Kwenzakalani, and in due time you will be assisted.
All right. No, thank you for that. So it is quite important for us to meet each other halfway,
yes,
because definitely. At the end of the day, we are chasing our dreams, and we only need to make sure those who are asking to help us are actually, being reminded of who we are, because a lot of us are entering into business, and it becomes important then for you to be in their faces, persist, and just be determined and dedicated to get your dream out there. Dr. Kunene, in 3 words, what would you say are the qualities, or 3 adjectives rather, descriptive words, are the 3 qualities of a successful entrepreneur?
We'll start with my favorite.
Okay.
My favorite is tenacity despite failure.
Oh, okay.
Tenacity despite failure is the ability to fail, acknowledge that you failed, but learn from your failure, usukume uzithathe, and you continue and you find a way to do it. If you can't do that, you can't be in business.
Oh, I love it.
That's the first one. The second one is networking. You always have to network if you're going to be in business. You need to, one, identify the people that you should network with, attend such events, because that's where you're going to meet your collaborator, that's where you're going to meet who is out there to assist you.
Yeah.
And the third one, it goes with your age.
Okay.
This specifically has to do with the fact that you are young. It is accepting the role of mentorship. Because you are young, you have not had experience in the field of the thing that you're going to work with. So which means you don't know where you go wrong or where you go right. So you need to identify those individuals, those people who can assist you to walk the path. And a lot of students, because per semester I get a whole lot of requests for being mentors. A mentor does not necessarily have to speak to you every day, because there's an assumption that you have to speak to someone every day. So it's someone who can, you need to identify individuals that you know are going to help you in different spheres of your professional life. I have 7 for different spheres of my professional life. And they come in those times when I need them for that particular area, because I needed them to grow in my field. And if you're young, your age is working against you. You don't have experience. So do get that mentorship. So those are the 3 for me.
I love it. Tenacity without failure, networking, and accepting mentorship. Very important. Sita, let's pass the very same question to you. What are the 3 things that you would say make a successful entrepreneur?
Thank you so much. For me, number 1 would be compliance. You need to be compliant. You know, there's nothing that is hateful as you sitting in front of an application, a service provider. You have issued out a tender, then you receive application, and then you find that this person, a simple thing is a PEE certificate. A PEE certificate, I think it costs about 50 rand. That person in PEE has expired or did not submit at all. And you see this person has got a good code, and all there is just a PE certificate. So compliance and compliance and compliance. So if you are not compliant, you will never. The government always introduces grants. I think we had Operation Vula sometime in 2021. It's a grant funding. And then you have different grants every year. You will find this, the minister will announce this grant, they will announce this grant. And you find in these grants, it's either by NYDA, by ATA, Office of the Premier. When you look at this, who are the beneficiaries? It's the same people, because they've mastered compliance.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at because once you master compliance, you'll never go wrong anywhere. You'll always get to umsebenzi. I know guys saying right manje, because siyashota ngabantu aba compliant. We had floods, so we needed so many service providers, because we needed to procure equipment and other things for abantu abakhahlamezwe yikhukhula. So we were short of our suppliers, and it was a headache because labo bathola, they were not compliant. And can you believe we had to beg a person to give you 200,000? You'll wait for weeks. For a person just to make an appointment with SARS, you don't even need to go there, or use your gadget to make sure that your tax PIN, you are tax compliant. So compliant is very critical in business, and without compliance, you never. And it's fortunate that NYDA and SITA are here, because we do assist with compliance in terms of what exactly do you need to be compliant, which department do I need. If you are in security, what do I need to go to SIRA to register my guns, to register my security card, to be compliant? So all of those things. So you need to make sure that you stand up and be compliant. Second one, you need to be determined. There's an entrepreneur, a SITA client actually. Maybe some of you have seen ama business. His business is called NNK Logistics. This entrepreneur, ubaba nje osekhulile. He was an entrepreneur, and Dr. Kunene mentioned that in business you fail. He failed in such a way that while when they came to repossess everything in empilweni yakhe, but now Mr. Makhathini is one of the biggest Cedar clients. What he does, a business like he did research after he was down and out. He did research, invested in research, and then inquired ukuthi kwenza abantu ibhedlela zahulumeni zithola phi imjovo nama supplements okutesta igazi, all of those things. And then waqala wenza research, waqala wathola ama compliance certificates, and then kwaphuma itender ka Department of Health, he applied. That tender has been to one service provider, a white-owned firm or company for more than 10 years or 2 decades. It's been just one person. My Enspire apinda apply it all. Enspire apinda wafika Dr. Mr. Makhathini applied, got the tender. They took him to court, but into ethu lekade sasinayo, you can't, awunayo experience, you don't have anything. He went to court, wayewina. Going to court akanamali, uyolwa nabantu ama multimillionaires. To cut the long story short, today he's the one who transported imjovo to all hospitals and clinics in KZN. He is the one still or collector all long supplements ayokulahla to waste disposal. Now he has entered into private. Usengene ko Netcare in Johannesburg in Mpumalanga. So he is invested in knowledge. He is invested in his business. He has done research. And then the third one is to I think it's a repetition. It's networking. Networking, you'll never go wrong. You'll find abantu abanemali businesses asebephumelele. You'll find them in this workshop. You'll keep seeing the same person. Yeah, ICC, how? Here's this person here. Baba, you driving an MMG? Why you still go to this business? As a business person, it's never too much because all of these things depends on my profitability. If I don't make profit, gizowa. So networking. Lento yokufika kuma business workshop, ufike khona uhlala eduze komuntu umbingelela wazi nokuthi wenzani, uyihlalela WhatsApp na TikTok. It doesn't necessarily help uma ku business because networking, you must be good in networking. You must always inquire ukuthi lo muntu unani instead of competition. You know, emakhaya abantu abaningi baqhamuka emakhaya nasemalokishini. Masikhulu emakhaya bekunama tuck shops, itolo, ono babomdlulu, babomdladla, all of those. Today it's about less than 5% itolo owned ama local or ama black owned people. Why? Because all of these shops, when they're operating, at the time we're relying solely on them, but manje sinama malls and everything. So all of these shops, what they were doing, ubabomdladla wethatha iveni yakhe ahambe ayemtube edrobheni ayo odd abuya ngena. Then wafika abanye abantu from other countries, they started working in collaboration. Bona mabeyo stocker, they go as a group, bafike bathenge in bulk, then they get a discount, then they are able to sell at a lesser price. They try bafike bawisa wonke ama tuck shop emalokishini nasemakhaya. So networking and working in groups, not working in silos, will take you somewhere.
Yo. Can I add
to that?
So we said compliance, we said networking, we also said determination. Okay, key keywords. NYDA, let's wrap up these 3 words with what you think makes a successful entrepreneur.
Okay, so I have 2.
Okay.
I'll go back to patience. And the reason why I say that is because both Mr. Mkhunu and Dr. Gunene spoke of failure.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the patience to try again, you won't succeed in business. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to have the ability to differentiate yourself from your business. Remember that you are 2 entities. There's you and your business. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we've had cases where a young person will come to NYD and say, I'm looking for this, this, and that. We ask for quotations, we pay for that, and then we say, go collect. We had a case in Mbazwana, Mhlabiyalingana, where a young person wanted a Jojo tank, amongst other things. So we paid for those, and then he went and collected. But instead of taking the Jojo tank, which was about 5,000 or so, he wangena ngapha kwi-liquor, and then he bought alcohol worth 5,000. But what we do as NYDA, we do what we call site visits. So we went to visit the site. The Jojo tank was not there. And we went to the store and they told us that this person opted for alcohol instead of the Jojo tank. So that person has a case with the NYDA right now because that is fraud. Remember, when we fund you, our mandate is for you to create sustainable job opportunities. So now when you buy alcohol to drink, our mandate is no longer met. So it's very important that as a young person, you are able to differentiate yourself between your business and you as an individual. In makeup, you with iPhone, ayizenga mumva, manga basically funding a business lago. It's very important to understand that.
All right, Nizwi, ukuthi makeup, iPhone, you with umuntu phambili. All right, thank you so much for such insightful information. I, for one, have learned a lot. And I hope ukuthi benilalele because now it's time to test. Ukuthi ngempela benilalele na. We're now going to enter into our question and answer segment. And the nice thing about this one is that we actually have prizes, right? So I'm going to allow our panelists to ask these questions because they know the answers to these questions. If you know the answer, let's get order before we continue with Q&A. Let's get some order, please. All right, thank you. Okay, so how it's going to go is we're going to ask our panelists to then ask questions, and then the person who gets the correct answer first, they will get the prize. You get the answer wrong, unfortunately, you prize ihamba kanjalo. All right, so if you know the answer, put your hand up first. We will note you, and then a mic will go around to you, and then you'll answer the question. If it's correct, the prize then is yours. I think we can start with the question and answer session. Okay. NYDA, let's go with your question first. Do we have a prize in hand? Can we get someone to bring the prizes forward? They're coming just now.
Okay.
Okay.
So before I answer my question, before I ask my question, sorry, I'm thinking. Okay, so let me just say this.
Order, please.
Because I had mentioned the fact that you no longer have to come to our offices to access our services, we've got an ERP system that you go to. It's called, so you go to erp.nyda.gov.za. I'll repeat that. It's erp.nyda.gov.za. So as a young person, you will go under youth inquiry. You will fill that form. So whatever product or service that you want, it will ask you, they'll give you options. And then you will be able to apply for that. Another thing that is very important before I ask my questions, I'm sorry, is the fact that before we fund you at NYDA, you have to undergo a training under our education and skills development, which is called business management training, which is a 5-day program where we basically teach you the do's and don'ts so that you can be able to run a sustainable business. So please keep that in mind. If you want grant, you must first apply for the business management training.
Okay.
So now my question.
Are you ready?
I would like to know or have someone explain to me what the grant program is and the different thresholds that are there.
Okay, the first hand that was up is the lady with the brown in the front. So can we have someone taking a mic to the lady? And a prize pending, just in case you get the answer correct.
Sanbon.
All right, let's listen attentively. Thank you.
Ama thresholds are ahlukana kau 3. The first threshold is for people who have an idea but never start the business. It's from 1,000 to 10,000. Then the second one is the second threshold of which benefits for those who have an idea or maybe or maybe they are already have the business going, and it starts from 10,000 to 50,000. Then the third threshold is same as the second threshold, but the difference is they have to be permanent employees. Then it starts from 50,000 to 100,000.
That is correct. You win yourself a cool prize. Yeah, well, this is simple. You listen, you answer the questions, you win yourself something really cool. Dr. Gunene, let's come to you. What question do you have for the prize?
Manje kusho ukuthi naze nangiphoqa. Abantu abawuthoka phela baphakamisa isandla. Kwi-question yokugcina. Hawu. Asembe ukuthi kuzoba baningi kweyami. Before I ask the question, the thing that I also wanted to add, had I been given an opportunity to have 4 things to say, is don't let your cultural nuances become your barrier in doing business. What that means, because I just heard someone saying, "Ala siyesaba," and this is mostly for us black people, and it's even worse for black female students. Kuba nokusaba and not have the confidence. As long as you don't have the confidence, you are going to struggle. You must be confident. You must be able to articulate yourself. Ungacabangi nje ukuthi ekhaya kuzothiwa mhlawumbe ukhuluma into ebhedayo or anything like that. Kukhiphe ekhanda lokho and change that cultural dynamic yokuhlonipha okweqile engasikhona ukuhlonipha but kuwukwesaba. So if kukuthi umuntu osabayo, please start teaching yourself from today to be more assertive and trust in yourself, build your self-esteem. Then my question goes, at UKZN, we have the Enspire program. In the Enspire program, we have 2 different streams that I mentioned. What are those streams and what do they do? Action exam. Is there no hand at the top? No hand at the back. Was the question difficult? Okay, I mentioned 3. I mentioned Naznang head, but those 3 things is ideation and business startup. We even had a discussion about ideation. So my next question then is, my next question, what would it be? At UKZN, right? Where do you go if you have a business idea or have a business and you require assistance with that business? Where would you go? There's it's this side.
Yeah.
It's this side.
Okay, let's do this. Asiqaleni ngalo sezantsi and then we'll go to the top. Okay, Okay, the third question. Okay, let's reach an agreement. The third question will go to the top straight. Ne? I can't seem to please anyone. It's fine. Okay, let's do this. Let's answer. Okay, order kona soswagala. Okay. We'll answer half of the question la ezansi, second half phezulu. How about that? Someone has to answer. Okay. The question has been divided into 2 parts. Ne? The first is where do they go? And second, what is the name of the program? So, where do they go? Uzobala ezansi, to be fair. And then what is the name of the program? Phezulu. Okay? Both people will get prizes if it's correct. I think that's fair. So the lady at the bottom in the white, Ekoneni, next to Mr. K, please try answer the question.
Since I'm a product of this organization,
Yes.
it's UKZN, InQubate. They are based in Howard.
Awesome. InQubate. So the first half has been answered. You win yourself a prize. Pezulu, I didn't see. Okay. Okay, we can't hear you, so ngicela umemeze as loud as possible. Ne? The lady in the corner, I think ufake grey noma blue. I'm waving at you. Yes, we are waving at each other right now. So please stand up and answer as loud as you can. What is the name of the program? No, the program. I heard it somewhere there. I heard it somewhere there. Someone screamed it out at the top. At the top, white. Okay, order in the house. Order in the house. Thank you. At the top, someone screamed it out. White t-shirt, ne? Okay, Ngolupin, the white t-shirt, white cap. You screamed it out. Ngolusuku, so we can all hear you once again. What is the name of the program? Going once? Awesome. The answer is correct. Thank you. Hey, I am sure. Okay, we have 2 prizes left. Just to confirm at the back, are there 2 prizes left? How many prizes do we have left? 1. 1 prize left. 2. Okay, 2 more questions. Sida, let's hear your question.
Okay. Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi ngithe ngowamchunu so izokhala kule question. Okay, maybe before I ask the question, just to emphasize ngo 2 seconds nje kule issue compliance. Mawusune business, you will open what we call a business account. Kuleyo business account, it's solely for the business. Ungabeke uthatha business account, uswipe ngayo news cafe, uswipe usende e-wallet yokuthi we had a nice weekend reference, because for any application oyenzayo they need what? Bank statement, financials. Bese beyabuka ukuthi oh leli business libuye operate ngo12 eFlorida, libuye operate ngo12 lapha yaka Jombikas. So all of those things they will come back to haunt you. What you do is now when you become an employee, you pay yourself a salary. You must know ukuthi okay, decide ukuthi ngihola mhla 25 or mhla 30 or mhla 15, and then you transfer to your personal account, not to the business account kube personal, because it will to apply funding to a no business awuliphathi kahle imali uzoyibhubhudla no mama no baba. So you must always make sure that business is a business. Now my question, I said kuno Sita no Sifa, and I mentioned the business. Usita no Sifa are government entities. They belong under a department. What is the name of that department, and who is the minister responsible for that department?
Hi, siyakhala ngempela ke. Umacingwane ngathi uza ngegear 6. Okay, at the top we have an answer. Gentleman in the black. Please stand up with your loudest voice. Tell us the office. You, I'm staring right at you with the black hoodie. Yes. Does not make sure. Unfortunately not. Let's try again. Okay, in front of him at the top again. Let's go in the black. Okay. The minister? Hi. Okay, half marks. We have a hand here. Which one? In the black? Where? Oh, okay. White top. I'm looking directly at you. Which one? Oh, I'm so sorry. Gentleman with the cap. Black cap, yes. Okay, let's quieten down so we can hear the answer. Yes, you. Yes, you, sir. I'm looking right at you.
Okay. I'm not sure ufi minister ukusawuyena because cabinet ishintshile. Kodwa usitela ndabeni.
All right, the answer is correct. You get a prize. Okay, question number last, but not least. NYDA lucky charm, right? Let's come back to you. The final question of the day.
Okay, so my first question, it was about the grant program. So can you please tell me the 3 other products or services that we offer on the entrepreneur umbrella?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's hear your answer.
Okay, it's financial assistance, mentorship program, and market linkage.
Ngathi is not make sure. Sorry, askis. A for effort. Apparently that's not the correct answer. So let's try again. There's a hand right here. Okay, lady in the Enspire top in the front. The mic is coming to you.
I'm not sure, but we mentioned financial and non-financial. So under non-financial, we had voucher program, mentorship, and market linkage.
Awesome, the prize goes to you. Okay, so that was the last trivia question of the day. Now, before we continue, order please. Order in the house, please. Thank you. Okay, so we'll now give you an opportunity to ask questions to our panelists. We'll have 10 minutes only, right? Because Q&A can go on for very, very long, right? So we'll take 2 hands at the bottom and then another 2 hands at the top to be fair, okay? So the first hand I've seen is on this side. Let's try someone who hasn't spoken today. There's a lady with the mask at the back. Okay, so gentleman in the black t-shirt with the alphabets, I think, yes. And then the lady with the mask at the bottom. We'll start here and then we'll go to the top a bit later. Okay, over to you.
Okay, greetings first of all. My question is, I've been doing my own business for 3 years now, which is a farming entity, but I got registered. So, ngizela because ngizengathola isikhala ngazi ukuzofunda but then ngiyabona ukuthi inhliziyo manje ayisekho la. Ngikubuza from Ninaki.
Let's let him finish. Okay, asimiyela qede. Asimlinda qede. Okay? Qedela bhuti.
Yes, ngikubuza from my 2 gentlemen lapho phambili ukuthi so ningathini for mina ningathi ngisithathe lesibindi ukuthi ngiye ngoba phela the first enye into ukuthi ekhaya ikhona ilend ukuyenza into engifuna ukuyenza ngoba ngifuna ukwenza enterprise whereby ngenze poetry, ipigari and plant production, you see. But then into engifuna ukubuza kunina, would you give me advice yokuthi must I take lesibindi and go for it with your assistance, or must I carry on and finish what engibona ukuthi ayi noma kuthiwa ngiyayiqeda ngeke ngubheke umsebenzi wayo lento le.
Okay. No, thank you. Sibonga nje isibindi sakho mfowethu ukuthi ubuze umbuzo. Number 1, we'll never encourage anyone ukuthi ayeke isikole. Lokho asoze nje saqhuquzela because whether you feel ukuthi ikhozo yenzayo is irrelevant but education is important, one way or the other you benefit ngaleyo cause oyenzayo. So what I can advise, and maybe other the panelists can also add on, is that umhlaba wasekhaya ngithi, and umhlaba wasekhaya uyindawo. So finish your course, and while you're doing your course, ibe njengamanje usebenzisa ama resources onawo ne access onayo through ama workshop njengalawo internet, nokuthi usedolobheni nawo emakhaya ungaya kuma department ube uyoncela ulwazi lokuthi mawusubuyele emakhaya uzosebenzisa kanjani to benefit yourself nomndeni wakho. But lokho kuyeka isikole asazi ngoba nayo farming you're not sure ukuthi uzoyeka isikole uzofika isebenze yini uzothi uyafika lapha ya ufika umhlaba mabe utesta kuthiwa no awukho right for farming usekulindela ukuthi kwakhiwe imixhaso kuwona and then you don't have anything to fall back on. So umhlaba is always there, but not wonke umhlaba wokulima. Uhlukene kakhulu. You'll always see vacant land uxa uthi hawu indaba uhulumeni engatshala ukuthi indaba abantu bengahlaliswa la umhlaba nomhlaba unenda udalelwe ukwenza into ezihlukene. So ungathothi nowasekhaya udalelwe into ethize. Maybe into odalelwe yona ukuthi itshalwe but uthola ukuthi iyaphuza ukubenefit. Kunezihlahla za gumtree la lezo izihlahla they take 7 years. So uma usitshale manje so this benefit ngo-2030 kuyima uqala usidayisa. So for 7 years you're not making anything. So that's how umhlaba the tricky part of it. So for you invest in research ubuqhubeka kodwa ufunda. Siyabonga.
Okay, nami mfethu I'll just add on to what Mr. Mchunu said. Firstly, ngiyasibonga isibindi sakho neqiniso lakho mfethu. Kubalekile ukuthi ube true to yourself. But njengoba Deshilo would never encourage you to drop out of school because lalela business is not as easy as people think it is. Okokuqala, the business idea that you have, it might take you 10 years to start making revenue. So what are you living on ngaleso sikhathi leso? But imfundo yakho can sustain you for that 10 years while you are working on that business. Another thing is what is stopping you from working on both of these things? Because it's possible.
You're wearing alphabets, yes. There's one great lesson that I was taught by my father when I went to university. He said to me, I'm not taking you to university for what it's going to be equivalent to money. I'm taking you to university for your mind, for you to start thinking differently and become a critical thinker. That's what you are studying for in your field. You are gaining knowledge and information to help your thinking. Now, dropping that can become very detrimental for you. But what you do need to do, and this is for every entrepreneur, is to learn to strike a balance in your life. We've got people, you can speak to Enspire after this. We do have people who are actually doing farm. When I say people, I mean your fellow students who are doing farming, who are using land, zasemagubo, doing farming. We've got poultry, we've got people doing pigs, we've got people doing crops. We do have them. But the key here is to learn to strike a balance. Once you master that, you'll be very grateful, because I can tell you that if you do drop out and one day kuphele ufarming, you won't have anything to fall back on. I have about 3 different careers to fall back on because life is unpredictable.
All right, thank you for that. The lady in the mask on this side had a question before we go to the top for further questions. Yeah, right here. Noted.
My question is based on the financial businesses development. Since SIFA provides development finance to SMMEs and corporate that are not able to attract commercial credits, so you can even make a small or medium or micro enterprises that is only 1 year, and you can still be funded by NIDA, or actually just wanna be clarified if you can be funded by NIDA, and I want to know that it's funded through SARS or any tax or whatever.
Okay. Okay. So when we fund you, when we fund you, firstly, like I said, the amount of funding that you get within the agency is determined by the stage that your business is in. So if it's just an idea, that's why it's only capped at 10,000, number one. So it's advisable that when you apply for funding, like Mr. Mkunu said, compliance, you need to have that tax clearance, or you need to be compliant with USARS. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, or if you would like to further explain so that you can ask in Zulu if that makes it better.
No.
Oh, were you answered?
Yeah, I'm answered. I can speak Zulu.
Oh, okay. Were you answered though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the questions here at the bottom. We still have a few more minutes. At the top, are there any questions? Okay, there's one at this side and then another on that side. Okay, so we can't get the mics to you, so we're going to need you to project really, really loudly so that everyone in the house can hear. But before you ask a question, please, can there be silence in the room? There's a lot of noise. We can't hear each other. The program is still going on. Yes, those who are exiting for classes or whatever other reason, please do so quietly because we are still having a program, we are still recording. Thank you very much once again for being here, but please be mindful of the noise level. Okay, so in the hoodie at the top, in your loudest voice, let us hear your question. Ideation. Oh, the mic is coming to you. 2 seconds, it's coming to you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm still in the process of ideation, and Amandla is the part where I had to come write the business idea down because I need a business plan said to the potential investors. I didn't know about the funding. So I'm asking now, ikhona mhlambe program engangisiza ukuthi ngikwazi ukuyibhala kahle le business plan phansi ukuze ngizokwazi ukuyihambisa to the potential investors.
Okay, so udinga usizo nge-business plan.
Yebo, ngoba futhi ezinye izinto like example technology angiyazi ngaleyo ndlela leyo ukuthi kumele ngiyibhale ngayo phansi ngoba lokho engikudingayo is beyond me. Mhlambe nokwe-finance and the legalities of uqala ibhizinisi angikwazi mina, and angazi mengithi ngiya-research ngizoqala phi, so ikhona mhlambe into engangisiza.
Okay, no, thank you so much for your question. Yes, as SEDA, we do assist with business planning and business plan writing. We do have a standard template that you can use. Sinama standard ukuthi business plan iqala kanjani, what goes under what. For example, executive summary, where you summarize your business strategy, your marketing strategy, your financials, your projections, all of those things. To access a business plan yethu, it's either you contact us, we send you the template, or you come to us and then we sit down with you and assist you in how you formulate your business plan based on the information and your idea of the business that you want to embark on. But what I do, I have my colleagues two engihamba nawo njengamanje, if they can stand up. Uleslai Fortune kanye noLeliswa Majola, as soon as we are done, you can speak to them, they will definitely assist you.
We also have loads of options here, so it's a great thing that you've attended. So we also have, through the Enspire program, exactly training for that, where the end result is that business plan. So please do look out for Guma University notices. Huto, am I correct? Yeah, so through the university notices, do look out for when this takes place. It usually happens towards the end of a semester. I just did one for the first term last week for 4 days. So the next one, look out for it now, June, July-ish. Am I correct, Mr. Huto? Pardon? He says end of June, so look at university notices for the UKZN program as well that does that.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much for those answers. You really have a lot of options, Sonji. You've got one in-house here at UKZN. You've got a CEDA helping you. NYDA also has some stuff as well, Sonji. And my options maning, right? Okay, for our final and last question in the house, we had a gentleman, I think, in white on the side. I'm not sure if he's still here. Please put your hand up. Yes, there he is. The mic is coming to you. Please ask your question, and then we'll take it from there. Over to you.
Sanbon.
Yebo.
So, imbuzeng now la itando imbili le. The first question is, I heard you mentioned something about you doing, trying to solve the problem of ugesi for ama SMMEs. So the question is, sinenking ayamanzi already, they are short, like our maning, like and ukuze business lako libe successful, uyawadinga amanzi, like ayikho indlela onga-operator ngayo ngaphandle kwawo. Is there any plan you have yokuthi usolve that situation of water? And then the second thing is, for your business to be legit, like have all proper documents, can you please at least tell us or mention some of the few certificates that you are required to have?
Okay. No, thank you so much. I'm inspired ukuthi insizwa ziya participate ziyabuza ngoba ngiyazi la kuthina insizwa sibuye singabuhle la kulezi zinto zokubuza simandla la ko inbox kodwa I'm inspired ukuthi insizwa ziyabuza ngoba sinamahloni anti sibahle nala. So thank you so much. Eyokuqala it's the question of ukuthi okay uzwile ukuthi as usida sizosiza in terms of addressing a challenge yagesi. Okay, even though that is still at the planning stage and design stage, but we are going to assist that. In the issue of water, I like that you are bringing it up. There is a challenge, the issue of water. Now it is incumbent upon us, all of us as here, what innovations to address the issue of water. Over and above, let's provide a government, but Tina, as my young future entrepreneurs, what is it that we can do? But to come to answer your question directly now, issue of water lies solely on government, and there are entities and departments and spheres of government responsible for water. For example, district municipalities, where there is a business affected by water shortages. That business come to either of our entities that assist with business development, such as NYDA, your area, and says, I have a challenge with issue of water. I need a Jojo tank to reserve amanzi at the time, or to preserve my figure amanzi ngwafakela store and so forth and so on, so that my khona amanzi aqhamukayo sikwazi ukuthi sikubekele ngaleso sikhathi. But at the moment, we do not have any program. We do not have any direct solution as CEDA and as small business development facilitator that looks to look at the challenge of water. But I know for a fact that department responsible for those, for water and sanitations, they are hard at work trying to find the solution yamanzi, because solution yamanzi is everywhere. Ayike emakhaya kuphela, even la eThekwini yamanzi ahleze phela. So the issue of water is big, but it's being addressed at that level yama department. But where you feel your business requires amanzi, for example, iy'nkukhu ziphuza kakhulu amanzi, you need to have a tanker elizothatha amanzi liwafakele iy'nkukhu zakho, that we can assist you with. Thank you.
The second question.
Oh, okay. Second question, your compliance. For your business to be compliant, number one, you would register business. I know people who are technological savvy, people who are technologically advanced. So you don't have to go to people who will register your business for you. Previously, CEDA used to register my business for people for free, but due to budget constraints, we no longer register business. But you can register your business as yourself. All you need is your cell phone, internet connection. You go to CIPC website, www.cipc.co.za. You follow, you go to register businesses, you follow all ama steps akhona, you register your business, bazokufuna amagama u3 and all of those 3 kuzobheka ukuthi liphi elingakathathwa bakuselectele lona. After that they will ask i-account number yakho, your personal account number yakho. You must have only 175 rand kwi-account yakho. Yona kuphela imali oyidingayo. So ungezwa ngabantu bethi udinga 500, udinga 1000, udinga 2000 ukuregister business. It can only take you 30 minutes and 175 rand. Then you have your business registered. Usune business certificate ekubiza ukuthi CK usunayo. Then what you do, you then go and wenze i-BEE certificates. Uyakwazi ukuyithola ku-website ka Department of Labor, wenze i-BEE certificates. Those are compliance certificates. Then sekusele manje ukuthi ukumuphi umkhakha ke manje ongena kona ke. Mauka security uzo register with security bodies, Mauka tourism with tourism council and bodies and so on and so forth. Then you go to SARS. SARS u register business lakho, even though ungaqala ukwenza imali, ufika uvule kuze mase kwenza imali uSARS ukwazi tracer, so that should it happen that uqala uthola umsebenzi omkhulu, because you'll never get any government business or any even the private sector ngeke bakunike umsebenzi wemali enkulu if you're not tax compliant, because they want to know ukuthi are you going to pay back uSARS imali yakhe yini. So once you do that, but into enhle ngoSARS and it's another tip yokuthi how best to not to manipulate but to make SARS work in your favor. You must also make sure, like Unjabulo was saying, ukuthi they want their businesses ukuthi create amathuba omsebenzi. So once you have people under your company abasebenzayo, then you are able to make returns to say already you are employing people, and then you make sure to keep your receipts, and then mase kufika i-tax season wenza ama-returns akho iyabuya yonke le mali osuke ithathwe uSARS. So isn't a compliant but critical BE certificates, SARS compliance, you register. And then another critical part is, especially if you want to do business with government, you go to websites again, www.csd.org.za or .gov.za. Then that is called Central Supplier Database. That is where anyone who's doing business with the states registered. Applying for a tender in Cape Town, as long as it's a government tender. Ngoba nje ungaphasi kwa CSD registered. CSD can track you. Uyakwazi ukubona CSD ukuthi compliant yini, can see ukuthi ubani director, your physical address and so on and so on and so forth. So those are the main critical compliance certificates or compliance measures that you need to have. Thank you. Okay, CSD website is www.csd.gov.za. Then you register CSD, uzokubuza ama business akho, ufake nje all your information, your ID numbers, type of business and everything, uregister lapha. And when the government udinga umuntu uzokwenza tender, for example, let's say usita udinga uzoba ne-event, udinga abantu abama photographers no videographer. Uzongena ku CSD, utype CSD, ubheke abantu abaseThekwini abenza lo msebenzi. Bazovela, because ngesikhathi begcwalisa ku CSD basho ukuthi they are based in Durban, they are doing a photograph. Sikwazi nampa abantu abalocal, then we send them ama request for quotation, they return bafaka quotation, bafaka BEE, and then bagcwalise ama SPD forms, then they are able to quote for government. But if you are not on CSD, you cannot apply for any umsebenzi, either komasipala, government entities or department.
Thank you so much for that insight. I hope upendulekile. All right, all good things come to an end, unfortunately. We've had a lovely session with our panel today, and that you are aware of all the resources that you have at your disposal, and that you will actually use them. Because remember, we said it's all good and well, you're now attending such things, but using this information is what actually helps you. But before we get to the closing of our discussion today, I'd like to invite the SRC President, Mr. Wandile Majosi, just to give a vote of thanks, and then we'll conclude our session for the day. Let's give him a round of applause. Here.
Leadership. Sanibonani bafundi. Njani? No, siyaphila. I'd first like to thank onke ama students for actually being part of the program. It means a lot ukuthi we actually do have students who actually want to partake in student entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial programs. Yeah, because we find ourselves in a difficult position as students in general and as Zabantu nje, yabo, whereby like there's lack of employment and also opportunities. So I'd first like to thank InQubate for actually ensuring that we do have such programs. So Usis Malindi did mention ukuthi like last week there was a training session which was held at Howard. So the training session there, it was to actually equip young entrepreneurs ukuthi akwazi ukuthi avule ama businesses, and those who actually do have businesses akwazi ukuthi asimame yabo and receive leyo support edingakalayo. So students, InQubate is something which is here in our institution, and then uyakwazi ukuthi usilekelele, whereby it gives us leyo platform leyo ukuthi they are able to invite abantu for us, they are able to assist us in actually starting, because the most important thing is to start. You might have an idea, but if it's that, you are not going to make it something which is tangible. Yabo, so I'd like to encourage each and every single person let us start, and then if you need additional support, it was mentioned that by the end of June there's going to be another training session. When a communique is issued out through UKZN student notice, so it's issued out through the SRC, students are encouraged to actually do partake. Nibe khona nibe ingxenye le yanto la ningajahi ukuthi just cause probably it's going to be holidays, something nje ukuthi ke ekhaya nibe khona, you are going to receive all the support le anything. I'd like to thank Usita for actually coming and being part of the program. I'd like to also thank NYDA for also being part of the program. Sis Malinde and people like Pastor K, they're always here to assist us. So ngalokho siyabonga kakhulu. So before sihambe yabo khona lento ebalekile le question. Yeah, so we'll address the land question. So there was the RSVP and it's sonke siyazi. Yeah, so ngoba take RSVP yakho comrades in that yenziwa lapha ukuthi we were trying to see ukuthi how many people should we actually cater for, yabo? It might happen ukuthi probably kule question you awukwazi to service, but good solution to leyo nto leyo. So there are t-shirts as well, and then there are other gifts as well. So those mhlawumbe abazobangeke bakwazi ukuthi bagcine beservisekile mase address le question in other means bazokwazi baserviseke. So indlela ezoqala ngayo soqala la izansi ne to cater for labantu laba la izansi. Manani, that's not to say ukuthi ophezulu selahliwa kalahliwe ophezulu, yabo. Nalabo abaphezulu, and then izophinde futhi communicate ukuthi mhlambe you are going to align khona la izansi from labo phezulu, and then from lapho isingabe route ne sikhombisa ukuthi some academics. We are going to have other programs as the SRC. Then question will always be addressed to our program SRC, yabo. So just silungise leyo nto leyo. And once again, thank you very much for your participation. Thank you to our guests, institution Sabong.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much for that final vote of thanks. Before we conclude, just contact details of the institution so that you are aware of where to go very briefly.
Okay. Contact details nokuthi usithi utholakala laphi. So makhelwane ke yabona mawuza la UKZN qhamuka ngaseThekwini Sherwood. Ngesikhathi ibus noma imoto ekulethile isiphuma ku freeway isingena phansi kwebridge lapha la seWestwood. Thina kungangeni phansi kwebridge uqhubeka ugudle eceleni kwa freeway. Uzothi mawufika phezulu uqhamukele kaSida uzobona nje ubhalwe ngamabhodi amakhulu. So nje mawususe Westwood sungahamba nangenyawo uzobona uSida lapho. Uhambe nje ngathi uyePine Town, on your left nanku uSida lapho next to uMaster Builders ka number 46 Exeter Terrace. We have it Durban branch lapho ne provincial office, but you'll get all information, and then bese kuba nama branches ethu ka 7 kwamanye ama districts. Cell phone number, telephone number, telephone number 031 277 9550. Gizoipinda 031 277 9550. 031 277 9550. www.ceda.org.za. www.ceda.org.za. Facebook, Small Enterprise Development Agency. Facebook and Twitter, Small Enterprise Development Agency. Thank you.
Okay, NYDA mhlawumbe benu bebewazi usezantsi kwase workshop Smart Exchange Building. We are no longer there. We moved last year June. Sesitholakala ngemumva kwase Royal Hotel ku number 71 Margaret Mncadi. A building ende njene glass nizoyibona at 15th floor. Telephone number, direct line to me is 087 158 7715. Ngiyashesha. It's 087 158 7715. Maungangitholi uzoshintsha loya 15 ufake u12 uzokudirecta ku reception because sometimes nginokungabibike office. Leya mangithi leka 15 maningangitholi nizofaka u12 nizothola i-reception. Email address, if you have questions, it's njabulo.mbata@nyda.gov.za. njabulo.mbata@nyda.gov.za. Mangabe ufuna ukuthola kabanzi ngolwazi lwe-NYDA is www.nyda.gov.za. Mangabe ufuna ukuregister kuma products and services akwa NYDA uzothi erp.nyda.gov.za. Ngiyathemba ukuthi ngoba kade what's this thing, i-register le kade circulate, ngiyathemba ukuthi nini nilani kwazile ukubhala. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
You know where to find us. You are all, if you're a registered student at UKZN, you can go to our website, the UKZN website, and search for InQubate. When you go to the InQubate page, kukhona all the contact details for all the programs. You're going to find them there. And then just one last advice. If you are studying towards a degree and you've got an opportunity to pick up a selective module, you know how you've got core modules and you can get selectives. I mean electives, they're called electives. If you have the space to do an elective, I will strongly advise you to pick up Introduction to Entrepreneurship at second year level, because you get to do all this training in there that is required.
All right, thank you once again to each and every person for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you. We hope you learned a lot, because I certainly did. Do not forget to utilize the contact details and the website details that you've been provided, and also ensure that you make the most of the opportunities granted to you through these very incredible and helpful organizations. A huge thank you for everyone for joining us today. Also, a big thank you to UKZN InQubate for actually ensuring that this event is a success. From all of us at UKZN, the panel, and myself, it's been an absolute pleasure. Goodbye and God bless. Thank you.